so much for the instructions and the welcome. We are thrilled to be here. Happy to partner with Way Up. I'm Adrienne Bestel. I am part of the HR team at Land's End. I'll tell you a little bit more about myself in a moment. But this is our third year partnering with Way Up, and so excited to tell you a little bit about Land's End, the company. And most importantly, today, you are going to hear from a handful of individuals who today work in the business in various roles, but are former interns of Land's End. And so there's a great story to tell. They are superstars, have been highly successful, and we can't wait to tell you a little bit about the internship program, their roles, and what excites them about being at Land's End. So I'm going to just start with a little bit about me. I have spent my entire career at Land's End, and I say that with a great deal of pride. It is an unusual role to have spent my entire career here, but the reason I have is that, excuse me, I've had a number of amazing opportunities that have come my way at Land's End. So I am proud to have spent the time here and really look forward to telling you a little bit more about what I do. But personally, as you can see, love all things outdoors. I have my hobby. I'm a photographer, so I try to find and strike that right work-life balance. You have to carve out time for yourself, and photography is my creative outlet. I love a good charcuterie board, as you can see. I'm a proud Wisconsin Badger alumni parent and a big fan of the Wisconsin Badgers. And on the bottom right, you will see my husband, son, and my future daughter-in-law. So what do I do at Land's End? I mentioned I'm part of the HR team. And as part of that role, I think I have the best job in the company because I lead a number of programs at Land's End that are really focused on talent pipelining. And talent pipelining at Land's End is really an important part of what we do. So it starts with, I lead new hire orientation. So all of our corporate onboarding, I lead that program. I also lead with a number of young professionals, co-leads. I lead our early and career young professionals group, and I lead our mentoring program. But the role I am most proud of and that we're here to talk to you about today is that I lead our corporate internship program. So we'll share a few more details about that, but you'll see here there's some pictures from a number of our intern groups. We host roughly 40 interns every summer on our campus, and you'll see some fun photos from those groups. We also like to do networking events, and you'll probably see maybe a couple familiar faces in some of the pictures here that I've shared. We also present at events like this. So in the center and the bottom was one of the events that we presented at on campus. So we spend a lot of time with our campus and corporate as a corporate partner. So let me tell you a little bit about who we are. And my hope is that you have heard about Land's End, maybe even done a little bit of research on us before you joined today, and maybe even checked out our website, landsend.com. If you could just throw in the chat, before you signed up for this today, before you registered to join us today, how many of you heard of Land's End? And if you heard of Land's End, how did you hear about us? How do you know about us? What brought you to becoming familiar with our organization? So we're really curious to know, did you know about us before today, and how did you hear about us? So this slide talks about the history of the company, and it's a timeline that really highlights some key moments for us. What I want you to take away is that Land's End, we are super proud to be celebrating 60 years as a company this year. So it is not an organization with some made up heritage and legacy. We were founder led. The gentleman there with the tie is our founder, Gary Comer, founded the company 60 years ago, started in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago as a retailer, and then moved our business to Wisconsin when he found the business was growing. We needed some space. We needed a workforce. And so he found a beautiful spot in rural Wisconsin, which is where we are located today. So our founder was a number of things. He was a pilot. He was, really an entrepreneur. He was a sailor, and he was a copywriter. And so he took his love of sailing, combined it with his profession as a copywriter, and kicked off Land's End, the Land's End that you know today. And it really started as a sailing heritage company. Over the years, we added apparel products, and fast forward, if you're familiar with our line, it is really products with a purpose, and we're an American lifestyle brand. But along the way, you'll see some key moments here, and a couple of these really focus on innovation, and innovation is something that is still woven into our organization today. But all along the way, our company founder Gary started with the principles that focus on the customer, focus on the employee. It really is about quality, value, and service. And what is so interesting about our organization today is that while things change over the years, over the last 60 years, we've seen a lot of change. But the things that haven't wavered are the quality, the value, the service, how we treat one another, whether it's a relationship with each other, our customer, or our vendors. So I mentioned Gary was a copywriter, and because of that, we're really fortunate. He put a lot of thoughts, kind of pen to paper. And one of the most famous quotes that he wrote, which still applies today, and particularly being someone in an HR role, this is just such an important part of our culture. And it really is about take care of the customer, take care of the employee, and the rest will take care of itself. And when you visit our headquarters, you'll see this quote. We've got it printed and painted on walls throughout our campus. And it really is something that we use as kind of our anchor. And it's how we treat one another, but we never take our eye off that customer. So I'm going to pause here for a moment and turn this portion over to Trayvon, because we are super proud of our BRGs, our business resource groups. And I wanted to have Trayvon share a little bit about these groups and when you join Land's End, how you can get involved. And then Trayvon, you'll tell a little bit more about yourself a little later, right?
100%. So you'll get my full story a little bit later. And apologies if I freeze.
You are
But
frozen again.
just to give you the broad sense of our BRGs, right? They are business resource groups. We talked earlier about how much Gary loved taking care of the customer, but also taking care of the employee. We realized that our employees, they love connection, they love community, and they love to learn. We're a really big company about being a lifelong learner. And so with all of these combined things, we led the charge, and we have what we call our DEI Council and our BRGs. Right now we have 7 BRGs. We've got LEADA, which is Land's End's Employees with Disabilities and Allies. We've got our multicultural BRG, our Pride BRG, our Women's BRG, Uplift, Working Parents, and Veterans. Now, with these BRGs, you do not have to identify within a BRG to be a member. My best example is I love going to our women's BRG. We had our chairwoman spotlight, over the summer, and it was such an insightful thing. We had the chairwoman of our board come and speak about her experience, her career journey, and just also giving advice to everyone at Land's End about how we can advocate for women in the workplace. So with all of those combined things, we really do support our BRGs here. Each employee gets 1 paid hour to go into a BRG meeting. So each month you can choose a different one, but also you are encouraged to go to the BRG events that we have every quarter. And we just really, really support them. But we'll learn a little bit more about all of the connections later, but just for the overview and a little taste of what our BRGs are.
Can you just give a quick snippet about Uplift? What's Uplift?
100%. So our Uplift BRG really focuses on kind of that career and life journey. Our Uplift BRG works really closely with our early and career group, just to really find places for our employees who want to learn and who want to connect and who want to grow in their career while also balancing the life of it. And it's just a really great place to not only network and connect, but also a really great place to just learn more about how you can get involved in the business and how you can find those external connections as well.
Great. Thank you so much. So, our mission really focuses is anchored in these, kind of three areas. Trayvon talked about the DEI, the BRG input to the DEI group. Our focus on sustainability, a key effort for our organization. And I will just mention to you, if you're interested in learning more about sustainability at Land's End, if you go out to our website, landsend.com, and you scroll to the bottom where you find things, like careers and investor relations, you'll see there's a tab on sustainability. And there is a tremendous amount of information on what we're doing in terms of our efforts, particularly around recycling and the partnership we have with things like the National Forest Federation, et cetera. And then we also support local charities and organizations. One of the efforts that we're focused on currently is called One Warm Coat. And so we are doing all we can to ensure that anyone who needs a coat has a coat, and we offer some promotions within our retail stores to have customers bring in their coats that they're no longer using in exchange for a discount off of product. And then I mentioned sustainability. We are truly committed to doing better for our environment. Our founder, Gary Comer, interesting enough, you do a little research on him, he was kind of way ahead of this curve back in the day, and was very focused on sustainability and the earth long before it became kind of a very public thing to be talking about. But we're really doing what we can, one step at a time, and we've got a number of efforts on the way. So I encourage you, if it's something of interest to you and a topic you'd like to learn more about, check out the details on our website. I talked a little bit about One Warm Coat. We partner with the breast cancer research group. And also we have a focus here at Land's End in one category of our product, the swimwear product, where we sell and focus on not only the SPF side of protection and swim and skin protection, but also featuring products that support women through like mastectomy swimsuits and supporting women that have gone through breast cancer. And then, to touch on, we've got a number of awards, super proud about so many of these. And, what I think is really interesting is that they range everything from customer service. Again, if you do a little research about Land's End, our focus on customer service. We've got legendary customer service. While we do kind of the majority of our business online on our website, you would still be surprised at the number of messages we get from our customers, emails we get from our customers, people that want to really talk to a person. We have that available. When was the last time you could call up a company and actually get someone in person to talk to? And you can do that here. I would also encourage you to go out to our Instagram, Facebook, check out like some of the posts, what the customers comment, the excitement that we have around that. But there's a number of awards here. The best employees for diversity, best employer for women. Again, you see the customer service nod. So really proud. The Green Masters program is part of this sustainability effort, and it's awarded to us 13 consecutive years by the Wisconsin Sustainable Business Council. So just to give you an idea of how focused we are on sustainability. And then, so I'm going to just shift gears from a little bit about the company to how to intern at Land's End. And each of the Land's End folks on this call will be able to tell you more about their story. But when you are looking for an internship, what I often say to candidates is that there's a number of things that you need to think about when you think about success at Land's End. And here is, kind of a list. This is how we measure success. If you want to be successful at Land's End, this is the place to start. I also mention that, if you're looking for an experience where you maybe just want to shadow, or, you're not really sure what you want to do, so you want to just, spend a couple of weeks at a company, shadow the experience, Land's End probably isn't for you, because what we look to is a robust experience where we immerse you in the brand and really engage you to help us think about the future of the organization. And again, I'll let each of these folks tell their story, but when it comes to success at Land's End, these are the things that you can be thinking about when you think, what do I need to be successful? Foster curiosity, embrace change, build relationships with integrity. The company is built on relationships, customer focus, curiosity and innovation, accountability, thinks critically. You kind of get the idea. So this really does a nice job of outlining that. All right, so before we turn it over to the experts, I just want to give you kind of a sneak peek into what the program is all about. So the Lands End Internship Program is a 12-week experience. Again, I would really call it kind of a brand immersion. And there is very little we keep from you when you go through the Lands End experience with us. We truly immerse you in the brand. We are in key meetings. You are part of discussions, senior leaders at the table. You have exposure to so many people, so many opportunities here in the organization. So you spend the majority of your internship, really the lion's share of your internship, is with your team. So whether you're in merchandising or design or finance or information technology, you spend a lot of the summer there. However, we sprinkle in a number of other things in the 12 weeks, so it's jam-packed. But we do a lot of team intern class, team building, networking, activities, because we know that part of your experience is not only the day-to-day work, but it's also building relationships, building your network. So you have your teams, and then you have your internship class, and there's just a lot of networking and relationship building that happens there. So it's really a roll up your sleeves and get involved in the business. So we also do things like workshops, leadership career development workshops, leadership roundtables. You get to meet with our CEO. So it's really a robust 12 weeks. And then at the end, about week 8, we split the interns into teams, and we give you a business prompt, and we send you off to work on that business prompt, and you come back and present to the CEO and senior leaders in the organization. And this group can tell you that, I think they'll tell you, it's a highlight of the summer, but it's also just an amazing experience because you really immerse yourself in the brand and learn about the business. So lots of things that take place over 12 weeks. It moves fast, it moves quickly, but again, if you're looking for that robust experience, I would love for you to give us some consideration. And we have positions, again, roughly 40, but across the entire organization. Okay, I promise I'd try to keep it short so we can turn it over to this team. And I have to tell you, leading the internship program is an incredible experience, but spending time with all these folks is truly my reward and greatest gift. And so I am so lucky to cross paths with each of these folks that you're going to hear from today. They truly are best in class. So I'm going to turn it over to them.
I will kick us off. This is what I look like since my camera is not working today, but that is okay. We're all about adaptability and flexibility. So my name is Trayvon Hardy. I'll talk a little bit about my role in my next slide, but this is just a little bit about me. I know that it is just pictures of me smiling, but I promise I will explain all of them. No, I love DE&I, diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's a big part of just who I am. I always love making people feel included and having that sense of belonging. Way back in the day when I was in college, literally last year. I was an HR major, loved that role, and I loved it because I loved connecting people. In my free time, you can find me literally walking a dog. This dog in the picture, the second to left picture, it is not my dog. And I don't have one, sadly, but that is one of my best friend's dogs. And I just remember daily, like it was a daily thing that I was walking this dog. And it's just now become part of me, right? And then at the bottom right, I love a good concert. I'm all about, any concert I can get to, even if I don't know who it is, I will happily listen on my drive to the concert, to all of their music so that I can figure it out. But that was me at a band Camino concert. And see that little tag, it's a little backstage tag. So that's one of my proudest moments is being backstage at a band Camino concert. But yeah, and then this is a little bit about me. And then, of course, my Land's End picture at the iconic walk. And then my role at Land's End. So I am our campus and early and career recruiter. I get to partner with Adrian, who is fantastic and amazing. I get to partner with Adrian on our internship program, so help with a lot of the recruiting efforts there. And then also kind of in that early career section in our creative and our product roles. So just a little bit about me and my role. I go to a lot of career fairs and engagement events. And I will happily tell you, it is one of the best parts of my job. Like, I love connecting, talking about Land's End, talking about the story. And just to give you some context as to the then to now. I started off as an intern. I was our diversity, equity, and inclusion intern last summer. I hope you're kind of getting a pattern now of just how much I love DE&I. But I was our DE&I intern last summer. Loved my role, loved what I got to do, loved the people I got to work with. And like Adrian said, if you come in with the mindset of, oh, I just want to shadow, or oh, I just want to look around, it just does not work. I remember coming in and originally I was like, I hope I'm doing more than shadowing. And I got my money's worth. I remember just taking ownership of projects in the first week. I had the best leaders, the best support team, who really just made my experience worthwhile. And so then after I kind of wrapped up my internship, I was like, man, I really want to stay here. I love what I got to do. How can I stay? And we started our campus brand ambassador program. So I became one of our campus brand ambassadors. And then shortly after I graduated and I moved into a full-time role as a recruiter. And I will happily say, like, I've loved my Land's End journey and my Land's End career. I feel like I've been here my whole life, but I've been here, a little over a year now. And it has just been such an amazing journey. And I've gotten to meet so many great people. Of course, we have fun. That's us at the UW Badger game. But we have a good time. We have fun, but we also, you work with the smartest, kindest people who want to see you succeed and who want to see like our business do great. And when you work with that kind of team and that kind of support system, the sky is literally the limit. But that's a little bit about me. This is not the Trayvon show, so I will toss it to our next amazing person. Um,
Hi,
and
everyone. Thank you for joining. So my name is Joanna Gonzalez. I attend St. John Fisher University in Rochester, New York. I am currently a senior marketing major. A little bit about myself. That's kind of what I look like. You can't see my hair right now because of the lighting. Um, the picture of the sunset, I usually wake up every morning, work out, and watch the sunset. Sometimes it's really hard as a college student to roll out of bed, but I'll just open my window and see it. So that's a picture of me in spring break. I was able to enjoy that beautiful sunset. Below that, it's a picture of me and some of the RAs. I am currently a residential assistant here at St. John Fisher University. I love my job. It gets challenging sometimes, but I get to see the back end of what it means to actually lead a floor and just be a role model for everyone here at St. John Fisher University. In the image above, I attended a diversity, equity, and inclusion conference over the summer for the American Marketing Association. Actually, I took a little break from Land's End for a couple of days and I went on this retreat, and it was one of the most amazing experience I've ever had. And I was truly able to talk with a pool of diverse people just across the world, and they were all associated with the American Marketing Association. So that was amazing. I was able to present a diversity, equity, and inclusion case study as well. In the image below, I have four siblings. I have an older brother who is 23 years old. I'm the middle child, but I'm technically the older child because my brother is taking a little while. Boys are a little bit more challenging than girls. So I would say I'm technically the older sibling. I have a 15-year-old brother and then two younger siblings and a dog named DC. My dog, I love DC. He kind of acts like a family member. It's kind of scary just a little bit. So that's a little bit about myself. And now moving into my role here at Land's End. So I had the privilege to be with Land's End last summer. As you can see there, there's a picture of the class of 2023, which I was honored to connect with and overall have the amazing experience. I was a diversity, equity, and inclusion intern, so I kind of followed in Trayvon's footsteps just a little bit. As you can see there, Land's End actually featured me in their LinkedIn because I won the 2023 Intern of the Summer for Way Up, so top 100 intern. So that was a really cool experience. I was able to communicate and expose myself to not only Land's End, but other companies as well. And that's the picture that they posted of me. And as you see there, the diversity, equity, and inclusion logo, I'm very big on DEI. I was the formal president of the Latino Student Union here on campus. So I try to immerse myself in DEI as much as possible. And I'm currently now the campus brand ambassador. I'm literally following in Trayvon's steps. So that's really cool to be able to see where he came from. And I'm also being the campus brand ambassador as well. As a full-time college student, it's a little bit hard to navigate, but honestly, I look forward to actually working and doing Land's End work than I do classes, which might be a little bit funny, but that's kind of the way I get to de-stress throughout the day. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Hey everybody, thanks to everyone for being here, and thank you to Adrian, Trayvon, and Lori for setting this up. This is my third time doing this, so it's always a lot of fun to come and talk to you all because experiences like this help me find my path. My name is Dominic. Most people call me Dom, and at Land's End, I'm the associate sourcing slash product development manager over women's swimwear. And just to tell you a little bit about myself and how I found my way to Land's End, I was raised in DC, and growing up in that city was really special to me. Beyond the typical things that you'd associate with DC, like politics and museums and the government, etc. Aside from all that, there's a super special culture in the city, and very vibrant communities of people that are really dedicated to art and fashion, music. And I credit my interest to product and product development to growing up in that scene. And then, so when the time came to pick schools, I was lucky enough to join a scholarship program that brought me to UW-Madison. And it wasn't very easy at first, coming from the city to a smaller town, but over the time in school, I found that Madison really had its charm. Things like going to Badger football game days, and riding along the lakes on my bike. I grew up riding a fixed gear through the city, so it was a little different getting used to riding on gravel trails and country roads, but it's really gorgeous out here and it's really nice to get outside. Um, and those are some of the things that eased me into Madison and eased me into exploring what the rest of Wisconsin had to offer. And then while I was in school, I majored in retail and consumer behavior. Uh, and while I was in that program, Land's End came and did a presentation during one of my retail symposium classes. And the brand pillars combined with the rich history, the pride and quality product, especially, really resonated with me and got me interested in looking for opportunities with the company. And then going into a little bit about what I do here and what I've done over my time at Land's End. I interned in the summer of 2021 as part of the first virtual intern class at Land's End, which was a little nerve-wracking, but Adrian and the team did an amazing job, put in tons of work to make sure that we were still able to have a very meaningful and robust experience, even with the pandemic going on. And so during that summer, I interned in retail operations, and I got tasked with a whole bunch of projects that were very impactful to the business and had a lot of meaning. And I got the opportunity to present a lot of that work to senior leaders, which was a little unexpected, but very cool. Um, my leaders over the summer really, really trusted me to own the work that I was doing. And I learned through that that there are paths to be entrepreneurial in a corporate setting. So, sorry. So, some of the things included gathering and analyzing spending data on some of the brick and mortar locations to then make recommendations on streamlining store supply replenishment. I also did deep dives on some of our standard operating procedures for stores, traveled to those local stores. So some to the one in Madison, the one in Dodgeville, and then over to the ones in Milwaukee as well. And with the advice of some of my leadership and the teams in those stores, I helped revise some of the standard operating procedures. And like I said before, it was really surprising with how much ownership and responsibility I was trusted with. But being able to dive into such meaningful and impactful work from day one really meant the world to me. And it's something that from previous intern experiences was pretty unique. And outside of all that meaningful work I was able to do with the retail team, there was also there was a lot of opportunity to connect with employees in all fields across the business. Um, like I mentioned, Adrian made sure we stayed connected throughout that summer, despite it being mostly remote. And I had tons of get to knows and networking sessions with other people across the business. And I knew throughout the summer that I wanted to stay on with Land's End. I had fell in love with the company and everything it stood for. And I knew I wanted to work more on a product development related team. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to go the merchandising route or actually in product development, global sourcing. And I was offered the chance to meet with so many people and get their insight across both divisions and just really hear from people on what they love about what they do, what's challenging, what the future of the business looks like. And then towards the end of the summer, I found my way onto the global sourcing product development team for swimwear. And I have just been so grateful for that opportunity. Um, I was super thrilled and I was really ready to dive into more product development related tasks. So when I started out as an assistant, it really centered around communication and facilitating everything gets done on time, essentially. So you can see in some of the pictures here, I'm working on print and pattern and color approvals. It's a lot of coordinating with our design team and our color team to make sure everything looks right and we're delivering the best possible product to our customer. And that was a lot of what I did as an assistant. And then some of the other things included sample management, proto samples. Working on those were really exciting because it's the first time you see a physical garment of what design and merch and everyone's been working on. And so it's really exciting being able to manage that with our vendors and be the touch point to see those. And then photo samples, likewise, once we're done with the development and we get these samples in for photography, it's really cool to be a part of that as well. And then this past February, I transitioned out of the assistant role into the associate role, still sourcing and product development over women's swimwear. And it's still a lot of communication. And I really appreciate that I have that opportunity to facilitate across a bunch of different teams. It's still working with all those cross-functional teams, merchandising, design, tech design, and working with our vendors very closely to make sure that everyone's on the same page and we're developing great product. Some of the things I'm responsible for now include negotiating costs with our suppliers, working through time and action to make sure that we have enough time to develop those products on the front end, and then making sure we have enough time for the factories to go into bulk production on the back end. Some other things, I really love fabric development. I was sad losing the print and pattern development from the assistant role, but now I get to be a part of fabric development from the front end and work with mills and vendors on new texture fabrics, new technology-based fabrics that the team wants to bring in for future seasons. So that's really awesome. And then any other special research and development that we do. As Adrian mentioned before, there's a lot we do in swim, and there's a lot we do across the entire business to make sure that we meet the needs of our customers. And that means that there's a lot of special projects that we have to work on to make sure that we know what our customer needs in the first place, and then making sure that the product is right for them. Swim's a super fun category. I love being part of all that nitty gritty that helps bring things to life. And working on this past season has been really challenging, but in a couple of months, we'll get to see all of that hard work come to life and be in person and see all that product. So that's really exciting. And I had to also just say that there's so much camaraderie. There's so many things that we have to do on a day to day to make sure that the business runs smoothly. And it really helps that people at this company are open to making those personal relationships as well, and caring about each other as individuals helps so much, because when things are challenging, we know we can lean on each other. And then when things are great, we get to celebrate those wins together. So that's my spiel. Thank you. It's always great to be a part of these events.
Hi, I'm Ashley Hinton. I interned with Dom back in 2021. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, and I graduated from Auburn University. And so I have no ties to Wisconsin. And that's really one of the things that I love about Land's End, is that they have pretty much just like welcomed me into the Wisconsin environment with open arms. I currently live in New York City, and I work out of our New York office. But I love getting out to go to our office and seeing my coworkers in person anytime I can. I started as a product development and global sourcing intern. So doing what Dom does now, that was an intern for men's sweaters. And after coming back to Land's End part-time or as a sourcing assistant, I then transitioned into a full-time role as an assistant merchant, again, over men's sweaters. And now I have recently become an associate merchant over men's sweaters, still sleepwear and knits. I love Land's End. As soon as I started as an intern, I knew that like this is where I wanted to stay as an employee. There is literally nowhere else in the world that I want to work. I just love getting to be with my coworkers and getting to create product that we're so all passionate about every day. Beyond Land's End, like I said, I live in New York. I'm engaged to my fiance Davis. We're getting married in March, and we are just exploring the city together as soon to be newlyweds. I am unfortunately not much of an outdoorsy person. I wish that I was. I'm very much a Taylor Swift person though, and I got to go to the Eras tour in April. If anyone wants to be jealous of that, you absolutely can. Even though I didn't have like the best seats in the house, but yeah, it's a little about me.
You were there.
Yeah, awesome. I was there. I was in the building. So
we'll trade our hikes for that any day.
So a little bit about what I do as a merchant. I own the assortment. So I oversee the product development process, and I work very closely with my cross-functional team, my designers, my sourcing team, my inventory planners. I rely on them so much to help create the assortment for the upcoming season and get it created. I'm the person that says, "Oh, I think we need more cardigans in the assortment," and then suddenly that season we have more cardigans. And that's a weird feeling, especially being so early in my career going, "Oh, wow, people actually listen to what I have to say." And that's a feeling that even went back to being an intern. Even as an intern, my manager in sourcing was very reliant on me, and she trusted the things that I had to say. And I'm like, "No, I'm 21. Like, you don't have to do that." But she did. And I think that's what really helped me like develops so much in my career, and makes me more confident in the decisions that I make today as a merchant. Um, I I don't it doesn't come from just the brain. I go out and I look at our competitors and I see what they're running in the market. I look at things that are currently trending and things that are going to be trending, and I determine, okay, what of this matches our customer, because sometimes we don't have the trendiest customer, but we have a guy and a gal who still want to wear nice clothing. And so you have to take the things that you see in the market and then transform them into things that our target market wears, which I think is a really fun aspect of the job, because it really gets your creative gears flowing. And then when I'm not flexing my creative muscle. I graduated with a degree in design, and I think that that's probably enough creative muscle for me, honestly. I have a very analytical job. When I'm not looking to future seasons, I'm looking at our current season and going and looking and seeing what is selling, and something about the analytical side and just looking at the numbers and determining what is successful or not is weirdly fun. I don't know why it's fun. I don't know why I get so excited by numbers, but I do. And so I think if you love numbers, then merchandising is the perfect job for you. Um, and like I said, I'm over men's sweaters. This sweater on the right is one of our current sweaters, our lambswool sweater. I'm very weirdly passionate about sweaters, which is a passion I didn't realize I had until I came to Land's End, but I care so much about our sweaters business. And I could tell you anything about any sweater in my assortment and then talk your ear off about it forever. My fiance is very tired of hearing the difference between lambswool and merino wool, but he's marrying me, so he's going to have to hear it for the rest of his life. Um, I I loved the internship. Like Dom said, we were fully remote. I never felt like I was missing out on any sort of experience being fully remote. I Even being fully remote doing the internship from Alabama when everybody else was across the country, I met one of my best friends doing the internship, and she's even going to be in my wedding next year. And if that doesn't speak volumes to how connected Adrian made us during the internship, then I don't know what does. So if you think you can get that connected with somebody being thousands of miles apart, then just wait until you are stuck in an office with them every single day, especially with all of the fun activities that Adrian has for the interns.
I sometimes don't know how we pulled that all off, but we did. It was all because of all of you. Thank you. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. Trayvon,
Oh, I can give Devin's intro with my eyes closed. So for full context, Devin and I both went to ACU. So Devin was an RA at the same time I was an RA. So Joannis, you're not alone in the resident assistant world. From there, Devin became an SRA, and then he became our graphic design internship or graphic design intern this past summer. Looking at these amazing pictures. The top left, you have Coda. He's a standard poodle, the most kind, again, in that series of dogs I've walked Coda, the sweetest, kindest dog you'll ever meet. Devin also got married this summer. So that is his wife, Jalen, who you'll see in the white dress down there, and then the black dress up top. Um, and then Devin is literally he's so humble, so he would never brag about himself as much as I'm about to, but is one of the best, brightest mental health advocates like ever, and started an entire brand to bring awareness and bring advocacy to mental health. And so so the sweatshirt and that jacket, that shirt that you see are both Devins. So, if you weren't impressed before, I hope you are now. I can't do as much justice as I would like to in this intro, but he is fantastic. So like I said, Devin was our graphic design intern this past summer. Absolutely killed it. Did such a great job. And then kind of moved into an associate graphic designer role. And that is kind of where he is housed now. And he is calling me. So I think I'm gonna answer and see if we can get this connected. Okay,
Yeah,
we can.
can hear him.
You're live, Devin.
Okay. So hello everybody, Trayvon, you did a good job. Thank you. So a little bit just about my role, since Trayvon did a great job of explaining myself. My role at Lands End, I am an associate graphic designer, and I pretty much work on the catalogs for the women's side. And with that, it's just making like layouts. I choose some of the images that our photographers go out and take pictures and put them all together for us to kind of decide. And that's a lot of fun because I really have a passion for photography and all things creative, really. So being a graphic design, being a graphic designer here, I'm able to like have my hands in a lot of different areas and be able to just have a lot of fun with design. And I didn't really know exactly where I wanted to go with graphic design in the beginning, but through my internship, and as an intern, I was a graphic design intern. And so through the internship, like we were able to meet with so many different people in the company already. So if we didn't know exactly what we wanted to do, we were able to shadow people, and everybody in the company was more than willing to meet with us, even if it was something like completely unrelated. Like I know I spoke with Dom for a little bit, and his position isn't quite the same as mine, but I was very, very, very interested in what he had to do in the company. So he was more than willing to talk to me and connect with me. And then there was plenty of other people as well that set up a meeting within like 2 days to just talk and chat about their role. And as everybody else said, like Adrian did such a good job with connecting us to all the other interns. And I was remote, but there were some people that were in person, because I think, and I guess correct me if I'm wrong, I think we might have been one of the first groups back from COVID and stuff.
Mhm.
And so we were whenever we came in, and we came into Wisconsin, and we all got to meet each other for the first time. And Adrian had like a long schedule for us to do stuff, and it was just so much fun. I have about maybe like over 5 people that I talk to from the internship pretty much on a daily basis, and people that I've gotten really, really, really close to that live like across the world from me. And so just that alone was such a remarkable experience, to be able to meet people that I probably would have never met, or definitely would have never met otherwise. And then on top of like, I felt so important being there, and I knew going in, like I wanted the full-time position for sure, just because the company was already amazing. So I knew going in, I wanted to be as bright as possible, as happy as possible. And I did that, I guess. And then I got the position, and I've just loved it so much. And yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Devin. And this is that adaptability piece that we talk about. I think, everyone you work with is smart, kind, amazing, but also so adaptable.
Yeah, I would echo that. You guys handled that well. Thank you. One of the things that people often ask me is, why do you stay at Land's End? Why have you spent your entire career there? And I mentioned to you, I've had some amazing opportunities. But probably the real reason, or the number one reason, is because of the people. I've had an amazing opportunity to work with just some incredible people, kind, compassionate, talented, and you are seeing today an example of why I stay at Land's End. It is all of these folks that presented to you today. And, we build relationships, and we spend a lot of time together. And so it's an important part of what we do. But I don't want it to go unnoticed that, they all spoke about their experience, and they spoke, from the heart. And that's what we want you to understand about the company today. We work hard. We have a business to deliver, but we also really do our best to, do it together as a team. So with that, are there any questions? How do you want to handle the question portion? We're going to do a hand raise, which, by the way, I saw, I was reading also some of the chats, and I loved that so many of you said, of Land's End because of you wore school uniforms. That's a big piece of our business. And that was kind of fun to see. So,
If we want to kick it off with maybe a few from that Q&A section, I think Lori's kind of screening to see.
okay.
But then we can, from there, we can hop into hand raise if we see any there. Oh, they can only send in the Q&A. So you know what, why don't I read it off? I can see them. So let's kick it off. So this is from Jennifer Johnson. Jennifer said, hello. I have my associates of social sciences and I'm 75% done with my language background. One second. Do you teach graphic design or skills through internships which might encompass these skills? This is a great question. I think this is really like kind of asking that training component. And if anyone wants to take this on first, I mean, I can definitely hop into it, but if anyone wants to take it on first, you're more than welcome to.
All right. So as far as like the training, at least for my end, I did go to college for graphic design, but it was very like there was a lot of stuff that you kind of learn within the company. So they teach you pretty much from day one, like everything that you need to know. They don't really assume that you know. I don't want to say anything because you definitely should know, like, you know, the basic stuff. In terms of graphic design, that's really all I can speak to. But like just, you know, basic layouts, basic fonts, and just being able to pair colors and stuff like that. But other than that, like they really taught all the systems, all of the programs, and went at the pace that I needed. It wasn't like you have this long to learn. They kind of worked with me as long as I needed and connected me to any people that could help, as well as if I couldn't get in touch with my boss, which I never had an issue, but I was just kind of nervous to contact my boss and be like, I don't know what to say, or I don't know what to do. And so whenever before I was more comfortable with my other, I guess, colleagues or the people I was working with during the internship that was already in the company, they pointed me into all of the right directions and helped 100% and never made me feel dumb or anything like that. So I would say that they help a lot with anything that you would need to know.
That was great, Devin. And with that, we can hop to our next question from Madison Epstein. Their question is, what was your biggest challenge during the internship or in the beginning of your career at Land's End? And how did you see yourself grow from it? Dom, do you want to kick us off here?
Putting me on the spot. Let's see. Thinking about the internship, like Adrian said, they really do keep you busy. And I had a week where I was helping out at our Harris Park warehouse sale, which is a sale we do every summer here in Dodgeville. And it's a huge event. Lots of people come out for it. And as the retail intern, I was helping out. And that same week, I had a lot of prep to do for our final intern project. So I spent lots of time going to the Harris Park sale, traveling back to the office, trying to get stuff done for my intern project presentation. And I think what it taught me was, again, like we're talking about with the whole adaptability, like it really is important to be able to be flexible and juggle all those responsibilities. But never did I feel like I didn't have the support I needed. For my intern project team, as long as I communicated when I had to be at the sale, they were totally okay with shifting around their schedules to accommodate that. And then also with our intern project leader and my individual leader on the retail team, also communicating my needs, like, hey, I need to work on this other project, super supportive. And the whole time I really felt like I had all the tools I needed to get everything done. And just being upfront with everyone, people would help me along the way.
That was amazing, Dom. And just thinking about my biggest challenge during the internship, I think, you know, kicking it off, I think my biggest one was a little bit of imposter syndrome at the beginning, right? Just like the tiniest bit. Like Adrian said, like all of us have said, like you get in and you are owning the work, like you are rolling up your sleeves, you are in the mix with everyone. And for like the quickest second at the beginning, I remember being like, oh my gosh, like, am I supposed to be here? Like, what am I doing? And I had the most supportive leaders and the most supportive people around me. And I just remember Adrienne and my leader both did such a great job of just kind of reminding, I think, every intern, like, you are here for a reason, and you are meant to be here. We trust you to do this work. We want you to do it. And I will happily say that is what, like a flip switched, or I just went into gear and was like, wow, like I can do this. And it has been just something that I now share with interns whenever they come in, because I know what that feeling is like. But yeah, that's a really good question. Um, and if anyone else wants to chip in on this one, you can. We've also got a few more. So
I'm so excited to see all these graphic designers.
I
We have
know.
a couple of graphic design roles or next for 24.
Yeah. And then Adrienne, do you see any questions that you want to pop out for us?
Oh yeah, the question about fully remote and building relationships. We have had that experience. We actually had that experience this summer where we had some of our interns who were fully remote. And what we do to try to build community and relationships is this year, for example, we brought everyone to our campus for a week. So we wanted to show our interns Madison, Wisconsin, which is the city we're closest to. And then have all of our interns on site at our campus. And it was a really great way to build relationships, network, get to, experience the area. And then when we're, folks that are remote and some on site, when it's not collaboration week, we just really encourage you through, your team activities. We'll do leader roundtables. You actually do your project with some of the teams. Some of the team members are remote, so we really keep this in mind. Our goal is to have as many of our interns on site as we can be, or in the Madison area working hybrid. Because we've certainly heard from interns that they want to be together, they want to visit our campus, and we also know it's a great, another great way to network. So we're working through that the combination there, but when we can, we'd love to have our interns hybrid. So I hope that answered your question. There was one quick question I'll answer about limited number. We budget for X number of interns every year. And so we straddle somewhere between 38 and 40 interns across the company. And it's really most importantly based on our ability to, focus on placing interns, ultimately into full-time roles, which is really where we lean into the talent development, talent pipeline coming out of the internship program. So our goal, if you didn't hear that today, is to move our interns into full-time roles. That's absolutely our goal. And you're seeing them. They're all on here. So, okay. I just want to say thank you to the presenters, my Lands End partners here, Trayvon and Lori, for organizing all of this, and to the incredibly talented and passionate presenters that we have here. You guys are amazing. You know that, I think that of you. And to the Way Up organization, thank you very much for hosting us. This is amazing. We value your partnership and your relationship with us. And certainly we hope Lands End, if you're interested in jobs, landsend.com/jobs, go out to the internships. We'd love to hear from you. We are recruiting for positions as we speak. So thank you.